Being the last single person in your friend group or like in your life feels like an actual punishment sometimes.
So I'm the only one in my friend group to be single right now. I'm 29, I'm single.
It's hard to not feel like there's something like wrong with you when like all of your best friends are like booed up or like in relationships, especially like long-term relationships. And
many women right now in their late 20s and early 30s feel left out because they're the last one in their friend group who isn't married nor in a relationship. This is what happens when you choose the streets.
I am officially the only single person in my friend group. And that means that at the end of the night, when everyone's like drunk, they all go home with their significant others. I'm here like, are we not doing anything after? Like, okay, cool, I'll go home by myself. That's great. Great night.
Not a single one of my friends. Funny I used that word choice, because I was just about to say not one of my friends is single, except me. And it just slipped out because I just wish.
Being the last single person in your friend group or like in your life feels like an actual punishment sometimes. Because you're the person who shows up for everyone else who got married, everyone else who had kids, everyone's bachelorette parties, bridal showers, baby showers. You've done it all and you've spent tens of thousands of dollars. I did the math and I've spent something like $30,000 to $45,000 celebrating my friends getting married, my friends having kids, all those things. And slowly as they pair off, they start disappearing from real life. And they never show up for you again anymore because they're too busy with their new husband or kids and their new families and their new activities. And you as the single person slowly but steadily start to lose your community. And you wonder whether any of these people will actually show up one day when you get married and have kids, or will they just check out like they do with everything else because they're too busy with their family now. And they forget that you put so much into that friendship with them. You did so much for them.
She said, being the last single woman in her friend group feels like punishment. But the uncomfortable truth is, this isn't something that just happened to her. This is a position many of these women actively chose, even if they don't want to admit it now. While her friends were making decisions, committing, compromising, building families, she was likely telling herself she had time, that she could do better later, or that settling down could wait. Now those same friends are married with kids, and suddenly being single feels like a sentence rather than a consequence of choices. What really hurts isn't just being single, it's watching the paths diverge. Group chats change, priorities change, invitations slow down. And that's when reality hits. Life doesn't pause for anyone. If she had followed her friend's footsteps instead of treating commitment like something to delay, she likely wouldn't be standing on the outside looking in right now.
I am pretty much, there's 14 of us, I'm pretty much the only one who is not dating or engaged or married or expecting or any of that. I am literally single, going on dates, all the things. In high school, felt like truly all of my friends were always getting asked out and like going on dates and like had boyfriends. Like I did not have my first boyfriend until college.
I think one of the reasons that me and so many women in their 30s are single is because we don't want to train men. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about this guy that I've been talking to who isn't quite acting as I would expect. And she was like, oh, that's trainable. That's not necessarily a deal breaker. Sometimes they just need a little bit of coaching. What if I don't want to be a coach? Why have we normalized training men? Why would I want to be with someone who I have to teach how to treat me? I didn't have to be trained. I have so many amazing girlfriends who didn't have to be trained. So why are we okay with the idea that we have to train our boyfriends? Now, I'm not saying that relationships don't take communication. Obviously, if you have expectations of your partner, you have to make them known. But I think the idea of training men is a modern day way of saying I can change him. And I think that leads women to settle. If I wanted to train something, I would get a dog.
She mentioned that the reason so many women in their 30s are single is because they don't want to train men. Notice the pattern here. The problem is always men, never any self-reflection, never them. That alone tells you a lot. And then she said, why would I want to be with someone I have to teach how to treat me? That statement sounds deep, but when you actually break it down, it's pure nonsense. If you don't communicate what you like, what you dislike, your boundaries or your expectations, how is anyone anyone supposed to magically know? Relationships aren't mind-reading contests. Every healthy relationship involves learning each other. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate, what you correct, and what you reinforce. That applies to both men and women. What she's really saying is, I want a man who already conforms to my exact preferences without me putting in any effort. That's not maturity. That's entitlement. No man shows up pre-programmed to serve a specific woman's emotional rulebook, especially when that rulebook changes depending on mood, age, or life stage.
It's hard to not feel like there's something like wrong with you when like all of your best friends are like booed up or like in relationships, especially like long-term relationships, and it just feels like, I don't know, like has that ship sailed? Like, is there even like any potential anymore? I don't know. And I understand that I am 23. I say it all the time, like, you're young, you have time. But at the same time, gosh, like, oh, and like when people say like, you can't look for it, right? And like, it's never like at the forefront of my brain where I'm like, oh, like, I'm like, is he single? Is he single? Like, is he nice? Is he whatever? But like, yeah. And I don't know if it is like the social media that's kind of like ruining like connection or whatever, or just like people don't look up from their phones anymore, or if it just feels like, oh, like I need somebody to like Meta or something to put like single in like hologram above like their forehead, because it's also scary to like approach somebody and like, I don't know, like I want to be approached. Like I know that that's like a very traditional way of thinking, but it's just the way that like I want.
Hi, we are not mean enough to men. If you are like me in your 30s to 40s, we are not mean enough. I had the pleasure to go out with this wonderful woman, which is my best friend's niece in her 20s, okay? And when I tell you this new generation of women is savage. One guy was talking to her, didn't offer to buy her a drink, so she asked him for $200. He's like, I don't even know you. She's like, then why are you talking to me? You're 40. Facts. She's on the dance floor. She's done with her drink. She just turns to a random guy and just hands her empty glass to him to hold. I'm not going to expose anymore, but when I tell you this new generation of women are freaking savage. We, the 30 to 40, are definitely not mean enough to men. We still kind of treat them like human beings. I'm fully convinced that the new generation doesn't even see them as human beings. They are doing to men what men did to women for thousands and thousands of years. And I'm kind of for it.
Madam, your friend is rude, broke, entitled, and lacks manners. For her to expect $200 from a random man she doesn't know simply because he tried to shoot his shot is just crazy. That isn't confidence standards or knowing her worth. That's pure entitlement. A stranger approaching you doesn't owe you money, reimbursement, or preparation costs. No man is responsible for funding your outfit, makeup, or time just for saying hello. Turning dating into a cash demand upfront strips it of basic human decency and turns it into a transaction. What makes it worse is how she keeps saying women in their 30s and 40s aren't mean enough, like being hostile and demanding is some kind of strategy. Since when did bad attitude equal empowerment? Being rude isn't strength. It's a defense mechanism built from frustration and disappointment. Men aren't walking away because they're intimidated. They're walking away because behavior like this is unpleasant and exhausting. No self-respecting man wants to deal with someone who leads with entitlement instead of conversation and demands money instead of mutual interest. And the irony is brutal. This exact mindset is why many of these women remain single. The more bitter, transactional, and aggressive they become, the smaller their dating pool gets.
So I'm the only one in my friend group to be single right now. I'm 29. I'm single. What up, guys? And yeah, because I'm 29, most of my friends are married with kids or have very long-term boyfriends. It's rough out here. There are a lot of issues that arise when you're the last single friend. I think the main one is relatability. All relatability with my friends is out the window. Specifically, them being able to relate to me. It's much less relatable than the issues that they have in their relationship, because believe it or not, I have had a boyfriend, all right? And they just haven't been single for so long that they don't know the environment of the dating atmosphere, and it's not good. And because a lot of them don't relate, some of them are like, you don't need a man to be happy. And I'm like, okay, break up with your boyfriend. And sometimes that lack of relatability kind of makes you feel like you're less deserving of love. Another qualm being the last single friend is like, I don't have any friends to go and do single things with and see other single people. But if you're also the last single friend, I think it's really important to remember that we all have our own timeline. I am not trying to get married anytime soon, and a lot of my friends are. I don't want to say it, but I like being single. It's fun. The dating scene totally does suck. I know a lot of you relate, and especially when you get into your later 20s, everything kind of feels like you have to rush. But I'm trying to remember that finding love is full of abundance rather than scarcity. It's really easy to think that you're running out of options and that you're running out of time. But in actuality, the world is your oyster, especially when you're single.
So I'm dating a guy who's nice to me for the first time ever in my life, I think.
Fantastic. You gonna be nice to him too, right?
And I don't think anyone told me this, but I'm so what's with the I'm crying a lot crying a lot because he keeps doing really nice stuff for me and I keep being like, what?
Yep, that's what happens when you find a good man. Make sure you say thank you too. Especially if you get to the point where you're not crying anymore because you're used to it. Make sure you still appreciate it even when you're used to it.
He asked me to be his girlfriend at midnight, which is fun and cute. And he goes, so he was like, will you be my girlfriend? And I went, what? And he was like, will you be my girlfriend? And I said, are you doing a bit? And he was like, who hurt you? And I was like, everyone. What are the rules of New Year's? Is it like April Fool's? Like,
Please keep in mind, just because other people have hurt you doesn't mean he needs to be held accountable for what other people did. Please. A lot of ladies will do that, where they hold against everything they've been through on their new good man that they just met. And he ends up suffering for it. So please, please do not do that. Appreciate this good man that you found. Otherwise, you won't get another one.
She mentioned that she's dating a guy who's nice to her for the first time ever in her life. And while on the surface that sounds like a good thing, it's also a major red flag. Because if this is truly the first man who has ever treated you with kindness, respect, and consistency, then that tells us something uncomfortable about the men you were choosing before. It strongly suggests that the guys you were used to were toxic, dismissive, or emotionally unavailable, and that chaos had become normal to you. You can see it in her reaction. She doesn't know how to respond to him being kind. She seems confused by basic decency. When someone is conditioned to dysfunction, peace feels strange. Healthy behavior feels boring, suspicious, or even undeserved. Instead of relaxing into it, she looks like she's waiting for the catch. That's the danger. When someone grows accustomed to toxicity, they don't instinctively value stability. They question it. Once again, this is a good thing, but that man needs to be careful.
So I know the men are saying that there's like a male loneliness epidemic or whatever the fuck. Well, there's this guy that told me that he's had a crush on me for years. This week he asked me out and he asked me if I wanted to go golfing. If you know me, you would know that I hate golfing more than I hate like anything in this world. I know that sounds so negative. I just genuinely hate golfing, but I gave him a pass because he doesn't know that. Also, I wasn't even into this guy in the first place, but I was just I don't know. I wanted attention. So I told him I hate golfing. And he was like, oh, my bad. You just seem really adventurous. So I thought that that would be a good idea. I'm like, okay, I think golf's a lot of things, but I don't think it's adventurous. But okay, it's fine. I'm not going to be too mean yet. So I was like, yeah, anything else? Do you know what he said to me? Do I want to watch football with him on Sunday? I've never wanted to do anything less in my entire life. These guys want boyfriends, not girlfriends. If they actually wanted a girlfriend, I would not be asked to go golf or to watch football. NFL football, there's never been even a hint of anything I've ever done in my life to make somebody think I would want to watch football with them. So yeah, the men should be lonely or they should get boyfriends because they clearly don't want girlfriends. This is also one of the type of guys that he only said that he owns a company, and like he would just say that, like, and by the way, there was like 5 text exchange, but he would send voice memos and he was like, yeah, like I run companies, I own companies. Whenever people say that, I just think that they are in an MLM. I don't think that you own any companies, and even if you did, it's like, but you're golfing all day, like, no, I can't. I hate it. I hate that genre of men. It's the same one that, like, joins running clubs and, like, I do better in the 70s or 80s. That's what he said to me. It's, like, the same men. It's, like, you would not do well in the 70s or 80s, and you need to find a boyfriend, honestly. Start at your running club, see if there's any available men there, and work your way out. Okay, that's all. Men should be lonely if they're gonna act like this.
First, let me correct this lie. Men never said there was a loneliness epidemic. Women came up with that narrative. Men didn't wake up one day crying online about being lonely. They adapted and checked out. Second, I honestly don't see the issue here at all. This woman jumped straight to assumptions. The guy suggested playing something together. She rejected it. Then he suggested watching football. She rejected that too. And somehow, in her mind, this turned into men just want boyfriends or men don't know how to date. That leap makes no sense. If you don't like either option, why didn't you suggest something else? That's the part they always skip. Dating is not a one-sided performance where the man must endlessly pitch ideas while the woman sits back and judges. If you reject every suggestion without offering an alternative, that's not having standards. That's being passive and uncooperative. What she really wanted was for him to magically guess the exact activity she had in mind without her saying it. And when he didn't, she reframed it as a character flaw in men instead of a communication failure on her.